y'all coming. Come back again the next time we play at home. We'd love to have you. No, on a serious note, hats off, obviously, to South Carolina. They're number one team in the country for a reason, and 40 whatever wins in a row for a reason. We knew we had our hands full, but it was an awesome environment. So thanks to those that showed out, for us, and just made an awesome atmosphere. A really cool opportunity for our kids to compete in an environment, and I'm proud of our girls. I think our group competed. We didn't have enough, but we competed, in my opinion. It's really hard to continue to compete when the ball's not going in the basket. And I thought we went through that stretch in the first half. Who knows what happens? I'm sure it's going to still take a ton, but if we finish out the last 4 minutes of the first half, it'd be interesting to see what that game looks like. But it's again, wonderful opportunity. Hats off to them. A great opportunity for us to learn and grow. And I'm proud of that group in the locker room and think we have a bright future here at Clemson.
Questions?
Last year, I think Clemson was down like 25 points in the first quarter. This year, you guys are up. What does that say just about how you guys have flipped the script in a short period of time?
Yeah, well, it's credit to the group we got in there. Right? They're bought in to what we're trying to do. We're in a learning curve. There's a bunch of new faces in there, and to face that kind of adversity, but there's a trust level. They're working. We'll continue to learn each other, especially in environments like that. But, I think for us, we hang our hat on the defensive side of the ball. That's kind of why we were in the game early on. We didn't, 23% for them, 27 for us, 13 in the second. Like, we were not scoring, and we will get better at that. But I felt like we've kind of understood our identity, and we're leaning on that. But we also, again, we went on a game plan. I thought for the most part we took care of the basketball. We kept them out of transition and in a half-court setting. We were not able to keep them off the glass. That was one of our big keys. But early on we did, and it allowed us to have a lead like we, again, showed. We went through a stretch of turning it over there, I think, at the end of the first half. We got to take care of the basketball, but also understand that we got to keep playing when we're in an offensive rut.
What's the most important thing that you expect your women to take away from this game and from this performance?
Yeah, my hopes are that they can take that we have an opportunity to be really darn good at competing at the highest level. I mean, we showed spurts in that game where we were going neck and neck with the number one team in the country. We're just not able to do it for 40 minutes yet, right? We're game 4, right? So with this group, if we can take this and push us forward, because we did a lot of good things out there, for us, we get an opportunity next week if we handle business to have another top 25 opponent in Alabama, right? So you're going to get another opportunity in less than a week, right? And I think that we have a group in there that's willing to look in the mirror and get better, because there should be a lot of good things if we take it the right way, right? It does one of two things when you lose like this, right? And I love the group we have, and I do believe that they'll take us and run in the positive direction.
Well, what did you see from your teammates, from your guys, from you guys, that you expected to see and you were proud to see out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we showed exactly what I expected. I expected to fight for 40 minutes. Of course, we had some spurts to where we probably didn't fight as hard as what we, wanted to. But I think all in all, I think we played extremely hard. And I think, we showed how good we could be. We just, like Coach Poppie said, we just got to continue showing up every day so we can put 40 minutes together.
Coach, last year Clemson was one of the worst defensive teams in the country. This year you've implemented a new pack line defense and playing a little bit undersized with 3 guards with McQueen, Cone, and Moore. Talk a little bit about how you were able to hold South Carolina to just 10 in the first quarter, 29 in the first half, which is a pretty impressive feat with such a small lineup.
Yeah, well, it's a buy-in for the group, right? Like, you're going to have to not just roll the ball out and expect you can stop people, right? It's going to take a scheme, a discipline level, and then a trust level that they can go implement it. Right, like how we defend is try to take their weaknesses and make them do it as many times as they can and beat you that way. And we know we're undersized. That's not something that is a secret, So because of that, you can look at it one of two ways. Like, either you can do it or you can't do it. And I believe that I love my staff, and they work so darn hard to figure out what other teams' weaknesses are, and how can we put a scout together that they can buy into. To give us an opportunity to compete and potentially win. And I thought we had a game plan that was good enough. We probably got to do a better job making some adjustments along the way. But all in all, it's a trust level from them to us that will put them in a good position, and then they go handle business. But we also got some competitors, right? And so if you're going to be small, you better be able to compete.
Well, to have 15 and create your own shot a lot against the number one team in the country, just what does that do for you confidence-wise going forward this season?
I mean, it means a lot. I've been working, to continue to make shots. A little disappointed just because I felt like I didn't finish as well in the game today, but I got to continue to trust the work that I've put in since I came here with Coach Poppie in June, July. So just got to continue to keep my head up and continue to just trust in all of the work that I put in.
Shawn, you mentioned the rebounding margin, just how much that can affect stuff. They're so good at it. How does that kind of allow a game to get away from you? How do you kind of see that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we knew we probably weren't going to win the overall rebounding battle. It was really the second chance points. It wasn't necessarily total rebounds, right? Because, again, philosophically, we were sending all 5 people back, right? So for us to get 7-0 boards and sending all 5 back is pretty good, right? And it was really more so playing numbers, right? Like, they are so good in transition. We didn't think by us crashing we would get very many anyway, and so why not just get back and keep this in a half-court game as much as we could? It was the second chance points that were a big difference for us. To think that fast break points is we actually outscored them 8-6 is kind of it's exactly what we talked about. 14 points off turnovers, both of us, right? But 27 second chance points from how we were planning on guarding couldn't happen, right? And so, like I talked to the team, that's not just on our bigs. I thought that at times our guards didn't get through some of the ball screens, and so all of a sudden a big has to help over, and you look at the weak side, and Ashlyn Watkins is going against one of those little guards you're just talking about trying to rebound. Well, that's impossible, right? We had to stay body to body as much as we could, and it didn't happen enough.
How valuable is a game? Like you said, there's no pressure on you guys in this one. You weren't holding on to any of the past records of Clemson against South Carolina, but how valuable is this? Like, how often are you going to throw up and be able to say, look what we did as you get ready for, I mean, I was just scrolling through your schedule. You've got a lot of games in a tough ACC.
Yeah.
How useful is this?
Yeah, as long as we can pull off the good, right, and build off that and understand that, like, some of the things we didn't do well is controllable, right? Again, South Carolina is really good, and so they made some of those things happen. But you're going to see a lot, I believe, on film where we allowed one bad play to fog our brains and not able to execute on the other end, right? We're not good enough for that to happen. And so, but you're going to see that when we went through spurts of having a focus and a togetherness that we can compete with anybody. And so you got to take that, and, like, I love that feeling, right? We just got to do it much longer. But it's something we're going to lean back on. Like, my hopes are that the fan base and whoever watched on TV can see we're building something special here at Clemson. It's not a scoreboard. It's a feeling of they are going to compete. They love one another, and it's just a matter of time.
Well, we hear Shawn say all the time, bring a friend, come back. We'd love to. I mean, that's he's repeating it up here constantly. What's your plea? What do you hope people saw, and do you want them to take away from, I mean, Nation looks at South Carolina women's basketball. What do you hope they saw from Clemson women's basketball?
Yeah, I hope that they saw a gritty team, a team, like he said, that loves each other, that's going to continue to get better. And I'm just a firm believer that the sky's the limit. So I hope, the Clemson fans that came out tonight, I don't know if they came to see us or South Carolina, but I hope that they come back to support us. So I'm just super excited for, what's to come.